days, a really exciting couple days, so I think it's really fitting that we have Tori here to speak with us and really bring us back to what we're kind of commissioned and sent out to do now when we dispatch from here and go home. So hopefully everybody can enjoy her comments. I'm going to actually read a little bit of an introduction because there's so much great stuff to say about her. My name is Julie McMahon. I'm the Director of Mission at Keynote Komen Columbus. I met Tori last summer. She is 2 years older than me, but it has never been lost on me that we could not be in more different places in our lives. She could have been a classmate of mine from college or high school. She could have been a friend I grew up with. She could have been another new mom. We love coffee. We like trashy Bravo TV and Andy Cohen. We like makeup and cooking, and we love advocacy and politics. But here's where we're different. Tori probably won't get to be a new mom. She won't get to continue her career as a chef. And while I worry about losing my parents, she'll worry about her parents losing her. Tori wants to make it to 34 and then 40. And she wants to fill those years up. Despite a year full of setbacks, not once have I seen Tori flinch. Her eyes are on the prize. In between driving an hour each way to her appointments in Columbus, Ohio with her oncologist, who is also a Komen-funded researcher, it takes a lot to keep up with her. Across the table at our first meeting at a Starbucks last summer, she was lit up with ideas planning our Ohio Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day at the State House. She brought new voices to the table. She educated us about new ways to talk to and about breast cancer. She's bold. Yesterday, this woman pulled out her oral chemotherapy bottle and set it on the table in front of these legislators and told her, here's what I need from you to keep me alive. When this oral parity bill passes, she better get a pen. Since January, Tori's gone on at least 3 conferences that I can think of, and there's probably more. I can't keep up with her, I told you. She's a patient advocate for researchers, reviews Department of Defense grants, she works with Living Beyond Breast Cancer, MedUp. She's been published in magazines and websites and newspapers. You can read her full resume in your program as well, but also she has a website called metastaticmillennial.com. Plus, she went to Vegas with her best friend, had a fantasy meal by one of her favorite chefs. She teaches Sunday school, and I just found out like 10 minutes ago she's becoming a deacon as well. She's literally doing all the things. In just a year of working with her, we've changed everything about our race and our mission strategy to be not only inclusive but directed for metastatic patients. She has changed us, so I am so honored to introduce her today so she can change you too. She really lit a fire under us and brought a new urgency. After several years of working at Komen, feeling the day-to-day weigh me down, and feeling like all the great work we do has not moved the needle enough, I came across a quote that now has hung by my computer ever since. Mother Teresa said, never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time and always start with the person nearest you. Tori, you're that person for me. If all I ever accomplish the rest of my career, or if all any of our Komen affiliate ever accomplishes, is to amplify your powerful, courageous, tenacious, and humbly confident voice, then we will have succeeded. Please meet Tori Geib.
So she did mention that I'm going through trying to become a deacon right now, so if I get a little preachy or pastory, it's actually a good thing. So I'm going to encourage that. So, you got it, sister. So my name is Tori Geib, and I have been living with metastatic breast cancer now for 3 years that we knew about. I was actually misdiagnosed for a year, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I want to kind of introduce you guys to some amazing people in my life as well. So this is my grandma, and I might cry a little bit through this, but we'll get through it together. She was my favorite person. She was a wife, a mom, a grandma, a philanthropist. Probably the least interesting thing about her was that she had breast cancer at one point in her life. And we came to find out actually after she passed and after I was diagnosed that she actually had metastatic breast cancer at the end of her life too that went undiagnosed as a recurrence. So she had her breast cancer in the late 90s. She passed in 2014 after that missed recurrence. When I got my initial scans and he was like, hey, we gotta get grandma so we can kind of see what hers looked like compared to mine, because I was the youngest person in my family that had breast cancer, and we really wanted to see if there were any similarities because we didn't know about the BRCA mutation at that point in our family. We saw that she had a CAT scan about a month before she died that showed metastatic lesions, but because her tumor markers were fine, they didn't acknowledge any type of metastatic disease. And here comes me when I get diagnosed, my tumor markers are elevated, but I have these lesions and we found that I have metastatic disease. So her records kind of saved my life. But, so let's get to some real happy times though. Kind of happy, I guess. So when she died, I was a week out from taking my practical for culinary school. It was a week before my practical. And the day that I actually took my final practical was the day of her funeral. I left the family meal early to go take my practical for culinary school. I can say I aced it, like I got 100%, I knew she was with me. But I also graduated summa cum laude because this woman taught me how to bake. So culinary school was actually my second degree. And if you look on here, I gotta say go Bucks, so OH. That's what I get. So I actually worked at Ohio State University at the Western Medical Center and James Cancer Hospital as a chef. And I absolutely loved it. Like, this was my dream job. And I'm just gonna say, for me, the last 2 days, trying to not be a fangirl in front of Sandra Lee, can we just say that that was an effort? So yeah, it was really cool, fangirl moment. Anyway, so I was actually working 2 jobs. One is a full-time chef at the cancer center, and then I was also working at a ski resort as a food and beverage manager. And those were about 45 minutes away from each other, but I got to ski for free, so it was kind of worth it over here. And I loved it. I loved working. I was a year in college, and I had the energy to do it. I mean, I was tired, and I had some back pain, but I had gone to the doctor for back pain when it started. And they said, oh, you're fine. It might be a little bit of fibromyalgia, it might be a little bit of depression. You're good. You can just put you on the antidepressant. I'm like, cool, not working. So breast cancer wasn't even on my radar until I hit it kind of head on. In March of 2016, I was 30 years old, just turning 30 years old. I was planning on going to Nashville actually for my 30th birthday, because we always do something fun for my birthday. And I had gone home and I rolled over in bed and I was like, dang, I think I laid over on my cell phone. Reached over and I found something hard. And I was like, crap. Well, hopefully it's nothing. I had a breast reduction in 2008. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just some scarring. But my mom's a nurse, so I went out and said, hey mom, can you just kind of see what you think? Do you think this might be scarring? And she goes, let's call the doctor. And I called my doctor's office, and the first doctor I saw was like, it's probably just scars, you're too young for breast cancer, you're fine. Well, you trust your doctors. Yeah, I never knew anyone who was young with breast cancer, so I kind of went with it. Well, I ended up seeing the nurse practitioner the next day, because it was getting sore, and she goes, let's get you some images. And because I'm in a rural area, they don't do breast imaging every day. It's actually every other Monday. So I had to schedule myself, and it was either miss Nashville for my 30th, which I wasn't doing, or it was wait 2 weeks. And really at that point, everyone had kind of assured me, you're young, you're fine, go ahead and do what you need to do. So I went ahead and did my trip, which I don't regret. But when I came back, they did a mammogram, had me stick around, and they said, well, we're gonna schedule a biopsy, but it's gonna be 2 weeks from today. And I'm like, no. What do we need to do this today? Because I'm here back home, and I actually live an hour away, so what can we do to make sure this is done today? So he said, well, we'll need to do some things with insurance. I said, well, go ahead and do that. We're gonna get this done today. I'm not waiting. I don't wait well. It's part of being a chef, we don't wait well. So yeah, I had that initial biopsy. It came back a week later, and then she called me and said, hey, it's breast cancer. We need you to come in because we actually think you have 3 tumors on that side. I didn't have 3 tumors on that side. My tumor was oddly shaped, but the mammography that they were using in my county was so outdated and so pixelated that they couldn't accurately see my cancer as it was in my breast. Even then they said, you're young, you're gonna be fine, you're good. But we don't have a breast oncologist in my county. In fact, we don't even have an oncologist in my county. So the closest breast oncologist to me is over an hour drive. So for the last 3 years, every time I need to go to the doctor, it's an hour each way. So assume an appointment's an hour. We all know it's not. That's at least 3 hours out of your day just to see the doctor and going back and forth and being tired and being in treatment. So when I got down to the doctor and got a second opinion at the breast clinic, I told them about this back pain that I had. And they said, yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. And they saw some things on my spine. They said, we're gonna go ahead and do a biopsy and do some additional scans. I got a call and it said, you have stage 4 breast cancer. Your bone biopsy was positive. It's also in your lungs, your liver, and your kidneys. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll eat it. But at the same time, I had no idea what metastatic breast cancer was. And if you asked me what metastatic was, I first would have to ask you how to spell it. And second, I would have had to go on Google and be like, what does this mean? And it really wasn't until the next day when I actually went in and spoke to my doctor that I found that metastatic breast cancer was terminal. And that this wasn't just gonna be a year out of my life. This wasn't counting down in treatments anymore. This was counting up in treatments. And this was gonna be the rest of my life. Now, I've been on different lines of medication in this treatment. I've had to have a vertebroplasty. That was actually my first thing that I had to have done when they found my cancer in my spine because my T12 was 70% crushed. And I was working as a chef, you guys. I was lifting 50-pound bags of flour and rice, 25-pound cases of vegetables. My spine could have been gone. 70% crushed. So because of that, this job that I love, that I was out of school for a year, I had to retire at 30 years old. That's crazy. Not just retire at 30, retire with 30 with not yet started to pay back my student loans. So it's how do you pay for all these things? And completely on disability, it set me at 60% of my entry-level job's wages for the rest of my life. It also caused me to lose my health insurance. And during that time, we didn't have Medicaid expansion in my state, and I was $3 away from being eligible for Medicaid and missed it for a year. It's like, how do you pay for treatment? And luckily, I had the energy to be like, no, I'm gonna find some programs, and I had great resources. But not everyone has that energy or that savvy that I did. So that's why this is super important to look at people in this Medicaid expansion, because that was me. That was someone who was uninsured for a year, who had to go through bankruptcy after a year of treatment. So each time the medication stopped working, I would hear, keep the battle going, keep fighting. And really, I don't know about you guys, and I know some of you feel really empowered by that, but for me, it just kind of made me feel ashamed that my meds didn't work. I was like, I failed on this drug, versus saying, no, this drug failed me, or this drug stopped working. I was taking ownership of it because I was using that battle mentality of, well, I wasn't strong enough. And so, after kind of hearing that and hearing a friend that was said, they lost their battle, I'm like, no, it's not that we're not doing enough, it's that research hasn't caught up to us yet. So I wasn't to blame, and no one in this room is to blame if your treatment doesn't work. It is the treatments that need to catch up to us. At the end of the day, this is why we need to fund NIH and fund research. And instead of saying, you know, these things don't work for me, I can be done, it's no, I'm enough. This is enough. I am not ready to die at 30 years old from breast cancer. That's why I started to advocate. And I went to a training through Living on Breast Cancer called the Hear My Voice program. Do I have any other Hear My Voice on that with me today? Okay. Well, it was a great program. It really taught me how to come in front of lovely women like yourself and how to speak about my experience. So it took something, I tried to take something tragic, like my breast cancer, and wanted to turn it in to make it something meaningful. And for me, I never really started my career. I was a year into my career after college. So I was like, you know what? Advocacy would be a pretty cool career. And I'm trying to save my life and save the lives of my friends in the process and my family. So this is what's for me. And even though, you know, I can't heal myself, I can speak, I can empower, I can motivate. I never say inspire, because inspire, you can still sit in your seat, motivate, you gotta get up. I can empower you, I can raise dollars for research. And this is gonna be the thing, you guys, that keeps mamas here with their babies. This is gonna be the thing that parents don't have to bury their kids from breast cancer. 17 that we've seen, that's crazy. Metastatic breast cancer at 17 years old. And you know what, this research, it might just save us. So how many early stage breast cancer patients do I have here? Please raise your hand if you were diagnosed stage 3 or below. Awesome. So everyone who just raised your hand, I want to invite you guys to understand why it's so important that we need every single one of you to be advocating for research for metastatic breast cancer and why curative research is so important for you. The metastatic patients that are in this room, only about 1 out of every 5 of us are going to see 5 years after we're diagnosed. All of you are the ones that get to carry on the message on days when we're too tired. You get to be the person that lifts us up and says, you know what? I've got you. I'm gonna go talk about how you still need a cure because I have the energy to go do this for you. And that's what we need. I'm not saying that you guys don't have bad days like we do, but what I'm saying is we need you in this, and we're not gonna get to where we need to go as metastatic patients without having early stage patients kind of helping us and backing us along the way. So thank you to everyone who talked about research yesterday and the need for it, because being done with treatment doesn't mean that you're done with breast cancer. And for 30% of early stage patients, they'll go on to metastasize. And imagine if you come on and you metastasize, and you don't have to cry about getting metastasis because we can cure that. Or we can treat it like a chronic disease rather than a terminal one. That's my goal. I don't want anyone in this room to ever hear, hey, your cancer is terminal. No. We want to say, you're taken care of. And this research that we fund, this is what's going to happen. So, a couple of things. So, personally, we all have, Komen has this bold goal for 2026, and I love that. But realistically, I have less than 10% chance of being here to see the bold goal accomplished. And guess what? I want to be in the 10%. But the odds are not really in my favor for that one. I'll be 40 years old in 2026. Don't tell anybody. But I need all of you guys. I need my early stage friends. I need our metastatic patients that are here that have a voice. There's people in this community that are too tired, that are too sick, that if we're given this opportunity, it is our responsibility to speak for them. I'll be here, but I'm much more hopeful that we can do this work together. And the work that we're doing is keeping us alive. Like Komen's new slogan says, breast cancer death is unacceptable. I've never heard a more true statement. It is unacceptable. We are not putting up with this. So, like I said before, don't let me just be inspiration, but oh, she's really inspirational. No. Motivational is what we all want to be, because you want somebody to get up, you want to call your congressman and say, hey, I want to get oral parity passed. I want to get research funding passed. I want to make sure that everybody has access to treatment. That's motivation. That's what we want. So this is my goddaughter, Alexa, and I'm kind of going to brag on her for a second, because this pie right here was her first pie that she ever competed with, and she got grand champion at her county fair. So I'm super proud of her. But she came up to me and she's like, Tori, I'm gonna be a chef like you. Awesome. And I've been teaching her how to bake, I've been teaching her how to cook. I went to her kindergarten graduation a couple years ago. Sure. Cool. I went to, oh hi. So I went to her kindergarten graduation a couple years ago, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a chef. And you know what? I need to be here to see her graduate from culinary school. So we need this NIH research, we need access to care, we need all the things that we were talking about yesterday. Because for her, I want to make sure that she's never standing where I am right now. Because when she gets to graduate from culinary school, it's going to be a world that we hope no one has for breast cancer anymore. Thank you.
We've had a semi-quiet group today, but she's also just now offered to do a Q&A if there's any